Hey everyone, welcome back to English Lessons with Guneet. In today's video, I'm going to teach you active and passive voices, which is a very important part of English language, and it is also such a topic which many people find it difficult, but yet it's very easy. I'll try my best that in this video, I'm able to clear all your doubts and queries related to active and passive voices and make you clear with all the concepts that are there in it. So before we start, let me just tell you that what basically active and passive voice is about, because many of us, we just want to solve the questions, do the exercises and give the exams, but we do not basically know what it actually is. So I'll just give you a brief definition and explanation about what it is about. So firstly, if you talk about the active voice, it is like those sentences in which the action is performed by the subject. Now I'll also give you an example like she read the book. Over here, the subject, that is she is performing an action, that is she is reading the book. If we want to convert it into passive voice, so the definition for passive voice, it is that these are such sentences in which the subject that is there, it receives the action. So if we convert it into passive voice, so my sentence was that she read the book. So in passive voice, it would be that the book was read by her. This is how it would change into passive voice. I hope that you are clear with it, that how active and passive voices change and what basic definitions are there. I just wanted to give you an example of what basic definitions of active and passive voice are there. In detail, I'm going to tell you the rules about it further in the video. So stay tuned till the end. Now, the way that I'm going to teach you in this video is that I'm going to tell you about how in different tenses the active and passive voice they change. So 3 tenses we all know, it is past tense, present tense and future tense. So I'm going to teach you in that way only. So first, let us come to the first subcategory that comes under it, under past tense, that is simple past tense. So in each and everything that I'm going to teach you, there is going to be a pattern in the sentences. So like many people, they find it just difficult to just identify that if it is an active voice or if it is a passive voice. So like as we are having formulas in maths, similarly in English also we are having specific patterns in the sentences for active and passive voices, in which we can identify that which type of sentence it is, whether it is active or whether it is passive. So the thing is that you do not have to learn this thing. English is not something that you need to cram. If you just practice again and again, you'll get familiar with these things, and it would just yourself, it would just come into your mind whenever you are speaking. So you do not have to learn these things, but you need to know these things and practice it again and again. With practice only you will fluent and you will get better with it. So you need to know the rules. I'll tell you the rules properly, what all they are. So simple past tense, as I was saying. So in simple past tense, the active voice, the pattern is first we have the subject, then we have the verb second form, and after that at last we are having the object. So now let me give you an example like he washed the dishes. Over here, he, it is the subject of the sentence, and then washed, it is the verb second form, and then we have the object of the sentence, that is the dishes that are there. Now V1, V2 and V3, it is verb first form, verb second form and verb third form. I hope that you do not get confused with it. So you can see that how perfectly the sentence and the pattern that I told you, they are fitting. So it's easy to identify the sentences, but once you do not have to learn these things. I'm again and again saying you, please do not learn them, just practice them. You need to know the rules, practice them, and you should not cram these things. The rules that are there, you do not need to cram the rules, just practice them, and that's more than enough. Now, as I told you that this sentence and the pattern that I told you, they are fitting, and this is an example of simple past, that is in active voice sentence, it is such an example. Now if I want to convert it into passive tense, I'll tell you the pattern what is there for passive sentences in simple past tense. So in simple past tense, the pattern is the object plus was what plus verb third form plus the subject that we are having. Now if this sentence I'll repeat it for you. So the sentence was that he washed the dishes. And in passive voice, if I want to convert it, now in this pattern I'll try to fit it. You also just come and do it with me also. If you can pause the video if you want to unsolve the question by yourself by placing the sentence in this pattern, and I'll also solve it for you then. So I'll solve it. My sentence was that he washed the dishes. So in passive voice, it would be that the dishes were washed by him. Now you can see again how perfectly this sentence is fitting in the pattern. So it's easy to identify the patterns if you practice again and again, and you'll also get fluent with it once you practice it. So you need a lot of practice if you want to become perfect. So keep on practicing. Now I hope that you're clear with the simple past tense in active and passive voice. Now once again, here I'm going to give you the summary of it. So in the simple past tense, active, we are having the subject plus verb second form plus the object, and in passive voice we are having the object plus was verb plus the verb third form plus the subject. I hope that you are clear with it. So now let's move on to the next type, that is simple present tense, the active and passive voice. Now let us move to simple present tense. So in simple present tense, the pattern that we are having for active voice, it is the subject plus verb first form, it is that s or es plus the object. Now the previous example that I taken for simple past, I'll convert it into present. So it would be that he washes the dishes. You can again see that how it is fitting in the pattern, the sentence, how perfectly it is fitting in the pattern that I told you. Now if I want to convert it into passive tense, I'll tell you the pattern first. So the pattern for it is the object plus ismr plus verb third form plus the subject. Now once again you can pause the video and solve it by seeing at the pattern that how we need to convert the sentence. So I'll also convert it for you. So the sentence was that he washes the dishes. So in passive voice it would be that the dishes are washed by him. Again you can see that how in the pattern the sentence is fitting. So I'm again telling you once again that you do not have to cram these things, but it's better that if you know the rules and just practice it again and again. And I hope that we're clear with simple present tense also for active and passive voice. Now let's move to the next one, that is simple future tense. So in simple future tense, the pattern that is there for the active sentences, it is the subject plus will shall plus the verb third first form plus the object that is there. So now the previous example only I'm going to convert it into future tense. So my sentence would be that he will wash the dishes. You can see how again the pattern that I gave you on the sentence, they are perfectly matching. Now for the passive voice, if you want to convert it in the simple future tense, so the pattern it is there is the object plus will shall plus be plus verb third form plus the subject that is there. Now you can also pause the video and solve the sentence, and I'll also tell you the answer. Now the sentence we were having was that he will wash the dishes. So in passive voice it would be that the dishes will be washed by him. Now once again the pattern and the sentence, they are perfectly matching, so it's very easy to identify. Once you get familiar with them, you know the rules and you practice them again and again. Now you can see how in such a short time you have learned how in simple tenses for simple past, simple present and simple future you can convert the active and passive voices. Now you can see the table that I'm going to display for you can take the screenshot so that you can revise it again for the simple past, present and future tense, how you can convert the active and passive voices. Now let us move to the continuous forms that we are having, and once again we're going to shift to the past continuous that is there. So the same example only I'll use so that you're more clear with how in different forms it is there. So the pattern that is there in the past continuous tenses that is there, so it is there that we have the subject plus was were plus the verb first from ing plus the object. Now that sentence only I'll use over here. So it would be that he was washing the dishes. Now you can see that how the pattern in this sentence, they are matching. Now if I want to convert it into passive tense, the pattern that is there is the object plus was were plus the verb third form plus the subject. Kindly watch the video and you can solve the question for yourself also. It would be very beneficial for your practice. Now if I convert the sentence, my sentence was that he was washing the dishes. So in passive voice it would be that the dishes were washed by him. I hope that you're clear with it, that how the conversion is there in past continuous sentences for the active and passive voices. Now let us move to present continuous tense. I'll give you the pattern of active and passive voices that are there. So in active voice, the pattern it is there is, that is firstly we have the subject, then we have the ismr, then we have the verb first form and ing form, then we have the object. So the same example only and converted into present continuous. It would be that he is washing the dishes. He is the subject, the dishes, that's the object, and washing is the verb first from ing, and is also there. So this is a perfect example of the present continuous in active voice. Now for passive voice, the pattern that is there, it is that object plus ismr plus being plus verb third form plus object. You can pause the video and solve the question for yourself also. So I'll also solve it for you. The question it was there is that he is washing the dishes. So in passive voice it would be that the dishes are being washed by him. The word being, it has like a significant importance in these sentences, because in present continuous and passive sentences only we use being. I hope that you're clear with it, and with the examples also that I give you. So now let's move to the next slide, that is future continuous. Now for future continuous, the pattern that we're having is the subject plus will shall plus be plus verb first form ing plus object. So the same example only I would be using. So my example now it would be that he will be washing the dishes. Once again, the pattern and the sentence, they are perfectly matching with each other. And please do not cram these, just have a look at them, understand them well, and then just practice them. That's more than enough. Now if for the passive voice that is there, there's no passive voice for the future continuous tense. So please note this thing, that if any sentence that is there, if it is in this pattern, so there would be no passive voice for that sentence, because future continuous tense we're not having any passive voice. Now once again we have come to the past tense, and this time it is past perfect tense. Now in the active voice that is there, the pattern is the subject plus had plus verb third form plus the object. Now the same sentence only I'm going to use, but in past perfect. So it would be that he had washed the dishes. The pattern and the sentence, they are matching once again. Then if I want to convert it into passive, so my the pattern that is there, it is there as object plus had plus been plus verb third form plus subject. So this in my sentence was that he had washed the dishes. So in passive it would be that the dishes had been washed by him. You can see the difference that is there between both the sentences. So let's move to the next type that is there, that is present perfect tense. Now in present perfect tense, the pattern that we are having is that the subject plus has have verb third form and the object. So the sentence that I'm having is that he has washed the dishes. Now he, that is the subject, he is performing the action, that is he has washed the dishes. He has already washed the dishes. So the sentence and the active voice and the present continuous, I hope that you are clear with that. Then if I want to convert it into passive voice, the pattern that I would be having is the object plus has have plus been plus verb third form plus the subject. You can again pause the video if you want to and solve the question for yourself also. Now if I have to solve it, so my question was that he has washed the dishes. So in passive it would be that the dishes have been washed by him. I hope that you are clear with present continuous, active and passive voice conversions also. Then let us move to future perfect. Having is the subject, then we have will shall, then we have, then we have verb third form plus the object that is there. So the same example only I will be using, that he will have washed the dishes. The pattern and the sentence, they are matching. Now in future perfect tense that we are having, in passive voice, the pattern that is there is object plus will shall plus the have, then we have been, then we have verb third form plus the subject. So that's a quite long one, but it's very easy once again. So the sentence that I told you that was that he will have washed the dishes. In passive it would be that the dishes will have been washed by him. Once again, it was a very easy example, and it was very, even the pattern was very easy. Now I come to the last category, that is there is the perfect continuous tense. So first I have the past perfect continuous tense. So the pattern that is there in active is that the subject plus had plus been plus verb first from ing plus the object. My example is that is he had been washing the dishes, and there is no passive voice in past perfect continuous tense. Now let us move to the next one, that is present perfect continuous tense. So the pattern that is there is the subject plus has have plus been plus verb first form ing. So my sentence is that he has been washing the dishes. And similarly, as in the past perfect continuous, we did not have any passive voice. Over here also we are having no passive voice for the present perfect continuous tenses. Now we have come to the last one, that is future perfect continuous tenses. So the pattern that is there, it is subject plus will shall plus have been plus verb first from ing plus the object. Now my sentence is that he will have been washing the dishes. Once again, the pattern and the sentence, they are perfectly matching with each other, and similarly, even future perfect continuous tense, it is not having any passive voice. I hope that you're clear with all the concepts of active and passive voice and what basically active and passive voice is about, and are thorough with all the rules. So if you're having any doubts, you can comment down in the comment section and I'll try my best to clear all your queries. So till next time, bye bye, and thank you so much for watching the video.